fly buzzing around in the kitchen. It was in the evening, and it kept buzzing around and around the room and zeroed in on the light and the top of the ceiling, as insects will do, flying insects will do. And it went round and around the bulb, making a terrible sound with its wings, zzz, as though like a way of a fly screaming. It must have been painful against the hot bulb. So I jumped up right away and turned out the light. And then there was silence in the room. I didn't see the fly anymore until morning, and then I was able to catch it and set it outside, rescuing it. Many times it had occurred to me to wonder, why do insects go for light? So obviously hurting them, so obviously self-destructive. Sometimes we laugh at them, sometimes we recognize our commonality with them and our own desires and cravings and shake our heads at them. Sometimes, we feel sorry for them. What is it really that would cause this behavior in insects? So I consulted my insect expert. There's a supporter of my vihara named David, who reportedly got his PhD in studying a certain kind of spider. So he is my insect expert. I went to David and I said, why do insects go round and round lights? Why are they so self-destructive? What is up with that? So David, he has a way of talking like a really good professor. He lays it out and really explains everything. So he explained it to me very patiently. He said, first of all, the insects do not want to get trapped in the light. In fact, what they're trying to do is fly a straight line. He gave an example of moths. He said, let's say a moth has picked up an interesting scent with its antenna, and it wants to go a straight line towards that scent. If it doesn't have some kind of point of reference, it's like a blindfolded man trying to walk. He'll just kind of stumble around here and there and may not make his goal, may not go in the direction he wishes. So a lot of insects will use a point of reference such as, say, the direction of the sun. The sun is far away, it's not moving very quickly, so the insect can say, okay, the sun is over here in such and such direction. They can calibrate the angle to the sun and then fly straight by maintaining the same angle to the sun. If they find that the sun moves a little bit in the angle of their vision, then they correct themselves so that they maintain the same angle to the sun. What happens, though, is that there are some things on the earth that are close up that might easily be mistaken by an insect for having the same qualities as the sun or moon. For example, your local street light. So let's say the moth has calibrated that the street light is at a certain angle. Let's say the light is at a 45-degree angle from the direction moth wants to go. Moth goes forward, keeping the light at a 45-degree angle. Now, then the moth passes the light. What happens? As the moth goes ever closer to the light, that angle changes. Now the light is at a 90-degree angle. Oops! So the moth corrects itself. It changes its forward trajectory a little bit to the side, makes a bit of an arc, in order to do what it thinks is straightening up. It's getting it back to the same angle. As it continues forward, again the light begins to fall behind. So again, the moth corrects its trajectory and arcs a little closer. And again, each time the curve becomes sharper and the moth ends up closer and closer, circling in round and round, finally sweeping its poor little fragile body up against the very hot lamp, getting injured or even killed. So you'll find these injured insects or blinded insects walking around under the light, or their little burned bodies. The Lord Buddha pointed out this connection one time It's recorded in the Udana, in the 6th chapter. The Buddha exclaimed, rushing headlong, missing what is essential, bringing on one new bond after another, like insects falling into the flame. Some are intent only on what is seen and heard. The 4 foundations of mindfulness in Pali are Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. So the Buddha said, what for? Here one dwells contemplating the body in the body, that is, the body in and of itself, not other things. The body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure, that is, desire and aversion, in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating feelings in feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. He dwells contemplating mind in mind, that is the citta. Ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. And Dhammanupassana, which I'll get back to in a minute. You could say phenomena in phenomena, or mind objects in mind objects. Ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure with regard to the world. Mindfulness of the body. With mindfulness in the body, you stay aware of what your body is doing. Moving forward, you know you're moving forward. If you're reaching your arm, you know you're reaching your arm. You know what your body is up to all the time that you're deliberately moving it. For example, you're not balancing your checkbook while you're turning a doorknob. You're present in the body, not dissociative, present. Kind of a be here and now instruction. Mindfulness of the body also includes body meditations, which include mindfulness of breathing and various other meditations to help us see the real nature of the body. Mindfulness of feeling. When you know the bare experience of feeling is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, you know the difference between the experience of it and the desire that you may have for the pleasant feeling, or the aversion you may have for the unpleasant feeling. So you can train yourself to not go grabbing on or becoming averse to whatever happens. Mindfulness of mind. You know whether your mind is angry, shut down, clinging, or if your mind is in a good state where you can trust your instincts. So you get to know yourself very well that way. And mindfulness of dhammas, you are aware of ultimate reality as it manifests, Four Noble Truths, 7 factors of enlightenment, 5 hindrances, and so forth. So journeying with these, dwelling with mindfulness of the body, feeling, mind, and dhammas. Journeying in line with these, one goes safely, not falling into destruction and misfortune, but instead finding ever-increasing happiness and liberation.